Folks, how are you? Yeah, how about a nice round of applause? Get some energy going. Can we do that? Coming out on a Wednesday night. We asked you a couple things. Keep your talk to a minimum. And if you go to the bar or the restroom, kind of do it as quietly as you can. And if you have cell phones and pagers, please turn those off. And if you still have a pager, there's a trash barrel in the back. You can toss that. And that's about it. You folks think you can handle that? We got a lot of funny guys here tonight. The comedy festival is here all week. Sponsored by Garden Remedies Cannabis. And that's about it. There'll be shows here every night if you want to come back. But have a blast tonight. You can do that? You think you can handle that? All right, man. I'm going to tell you just a quick joke, and then I'm going to bring up your host. So my therapist says I read social situations poorly, and I'm pretty sure she was hitting on me. Okay, that's good enough. So this guy coming to the stage is going to host your show for the evening. I've known this guy many, many years. He's a favorite all around the country and actually in Canada as well. How about we didn't think he was going to be here tonight, but he's got a really good lawyer. How about a nice round of applause for Mark Scalia, folks? Give it up for Mark Scalia. Give it up.
Get the fuck out of here, you asshole. How are you, Somerville? It is so good to be here. I live in Salem, Massachusetts, but originally from Chelsea. Yeah, I like to brag. And we just got over a whole Halloween thing, and Salem, it's a freaking nightmare. I don't know if you know this. Little known statistic, the Parker brothers were from Salem. Did you know that? That's true. The Parker brothers were from Salem, family owned and operated for almost 90 years. The most famous game was called the Landlord's Game. They bought it from a woman for $500, simplified the rules, changed the name, and you all know this game as Monopoly. And here's the thing, everybody comes to Salem for the witches, and when I tell them this, because I'm one of the guides there, and they go, really, that's amazing. Where'd they burn all the witches? They didn't fucking burn witches. You gotta calm down a second. But here's the thing about Monopoly. Monopoly, did you know that that in the rules it says you can make up house rules? Did you know that? For Monopoly. My dad had a bunch of rules. He said if anybody passed go, you put $50 in free parking. It's a great rule. He had another rule that you could put multiple hotels on property if you wanted to. All my father wanted to play were the 4 railroads, the 2 utilities, Boardwalk and Park Place. That's all he wanted. He put 2 hotels on Boardwalk. What kind of a fucking monster puts 2 hotels? It's $1,000 for one. I'm 11. I land on it, he's like, oh, you're done. Give me everything you want. The most ruthless bastard in the planet. And we all have a family member that lost their minds when it came to Monopoly. Just taking the game way too goddamn seriously. Way too seriously. As I like to say, Monopoly ruining Sunday afternoons for over 200 years. It's the only board game I ever walked away from crying. I never even took life that seriously. But I'm glad it's all over. I'm glad that we got to wear the mask, but that's almost done. We'll be done with that in a while, too. I've been trapped in the house with my wife. Now, let me start this. Let me be very honest with you folks. I'm going to be very honest. I love my wife. I love my wife to death, if it comes to that. I've known my wife for almost 20 years. And here's the thing about, you think you know somebody, and then in quarantine, I found out more about her than I ever knew, ever. She does some things. First of all, she's trying to kill me. That is confirmed. She's trying to kill me because I'm a type A personality, so she leaves the cabinets open like this much, and I fucking know she does it on purpose. I know it. Because I walk around going, boom, boom, boom. She's like, oh, did I do something? Yes, you did. She mixes her metaphors. Drives me crazy. You know, people like, we got in a fight, and I go, I don't want to fight. She goes, okay, I don't want to fight either. Let's just nip it in the butt. I said, honey, it's snip it in the butt. She goes, snip it in the butt. And I go, snip it in the butt. She goes, I don't know, 6 of one baker's half dozen. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? She thinks out loud. She thinks out loud. We all have strange thoughts, stream of consciousness. Things just kind of happen, go to another thought. I understand. She verbalizes this whole process. I'll give you a scenario. A screw fell out of a drawer in the living room, and I'm screwing the drawer back together. My wife's in the kitchen. All of a sudden I hear, I am so glad that we live in a place where bears don't attack us. Just let it go. Just let it go. Don't engage. Don't engage. But you know when you hear something and you think about it and it goes around your head a couple times and you can't figure it out. So finally I just go, what are you talking about? She goes, I was just in the kitchen and I was making breakfast and I had smoked salmon and I thought bears love salmon. I thought if there was a bear in the kitchen, I would just give him that salmon. Then I thought, what a great place that we live that bears don't attack us. Not a court in the country. Which we fight. We do fight. We fight so much we put rules in place so we wouldn't fight. We have a great rule. Never go to bed angry. It's a great rule. I have been awake for 73 hours. My record's 75. We fight so much. Here's the thing. I was doing a lot of shows, and I got a beard. I grow my beard out. I do a lot of acting work. I'm not an actor that does stand-up comedy. I've been doing stand-up comedy for over 30 years. But I do some acting work. I play Scrooge. That's why I'm growing the beard out, so I can grow my sideburns and all that stuff. So I do a lot of acting work. And because of the pandemic, I was only allowed to do some stuff because blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. I've been an actor for almost 20 years, and I've learned a bunch of things. And one of the things I've learned as an actor is I can do different accents and dialects. Almost 25 of almost any country in the world. Now, I stopped doing it, obviously, but I haven't done it in a while. But you guys seem like a nice crowd. You want to play a little bit? Want to have a little fun? Want to play? Want to play? And I'll tell you what, let me preface this by saying, during the pandemic, and let me preface this all, during the pandemic, I'm a comic, okay? And I don't like people. It's a weird thing. Comics, like, I like people like I like fish. Like, I'll go to the aquarium and watch them, but I don't want to get in the fucking tank with them. That's kind of the way I feel. But during the pandemic, I went, oh, I miss people. I really did. Like, I felt like I really miss people. And because I can do accents and dialects, and I've traveled a lot, I love listening to people the way they speak. Because here's the thing. We're all the same species, and I love to listen to people speak. So I'll tell you what. Name a country, any country, and I'll see if we're going to do the accent. I don't know if I can. Okay. Okay. Somebody lost their shit immediately. I don't know what happened. That is, I don't know what that was, but. Okay, let's try. Look, I'm from Chelsea, and you people are scaring me. What happened? Did you drop something? What was the country you yelled? You said Ireland. Okay. Okay, are you Irish? Okay. I don't know. Pass that around until it makes sense. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about the English colonies. All the English colonies are derivatives of each other, so they sound very easy to mix and match. Because, of course, you start with a British accent like this, RP, which is British proper. Let it go a little bit. It sounds London, South London. Let it go even more, and you can sound Cockney, like Oliver Twist. And if you take that and you kind of pull it down a little bit, you can sound like you're from Liverpool, one of the Beatles. And then if you take that and you elongate that, then you can sound Australian, tighten it down slightly, you sound like you're from New Zealand. Slightly of an accent, but almost the same thing. And they all make sense because they're all British colonies. But there's two accents I learned that sound familiar, and I can't figure out why. It's Irish and Jamaican. I know you don't believe me, but I'll prove it to you. Jamaican. Hey, man. What you say we go to Kingston for the weekend, yeah? We'll smoke a big spliff, listen to some Bob Marley, and afterwards we'll go to the pub, have a pint of Guinness, and beat the shit out of someone. What do you say? One starts, the other stops. And I love doing the Irish brogue. I love doing the Irish brogue. This particular brogue is Kilkenny, Southern Ireland. But if you go further north, your voice gets much higher. And eventually, you sound like a leprechaun. You really do. When when things were really busy, 19, 18, when we were doing all that stuff, and I went around, and I was one night, I forget who the city it was in, but I was like, name a country all around, Germany, Australia, France, I'm doing them all. One of the back stands goes, United States! So I had to explain it to her. I said, first of all, if you're from the country of origin, you don't have an accent, you actually have a dialect. In the United States, it's a huge country. We have literally hundreds of thousands of dialects and subdialects. So I just picked a bunch. I said, I'm from Boston. I've lived in Boston most of my life, and it doesn't matter where I travel on this planet, somebody finds out I'm from Boston, they always want me to say a very particular phrase, which is, park the car in Harvard, which is stupid, because nobody ever says it. But if people say that to me, they find I'm from Boston, so my response is, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know there ain't nowhere to park in Harvard, and if you found the meter, it ain't taking quarters. I lived in Brooklyn for like 4 years, on and off. There are 5 boroughs of New York: Brooklyn, Manhattan, Staten Island, Bronx, and Queens. 6 if you count Long Island, not part of the 5 boroughs, but each one very different dialect. If you ever been anybody from Long Island, they have a very interesting way of talking, but things are very calm, and there's no problem whatsoever. And then for no apparent reason, it gets very loud, out of control, and then it goes away just as quick as it's done. You leave Long Island, you cross the bridge, you get to the Bronx. Now, the Bronx really is. See, everybody in the Bronx kind of talk about the same. They sound like they got marbles in their mouth. They can't get them out of there. You cross another bridge, now you're in Queens. Queens is similar to the Bronx. The difference with Queens, you don't got marbles in your mouth. You got something stuck in your teeth. I used to visit Georgia twice a year. Love going to Georgia. I got in fights with people. They'll insist they don't have an accent or a dialect. They'll insist they have a drawl. And you know, it don't matter what comes out of a Georgian's mouth, because it all sounds very pretty on your ears. I got off the plane in Atlanta. Y'all from Boston? Yes, I am. I think Bostonians are the biggest douchebags I've met in my entire life. And for 20 minutes, I thought it was a compliment. Like, I had no idea. Of course, next to Georgia, you have the great state of Alabama, where it doesn't matter what you say, people still think you're stupid. It don't matter what you do in Alabama neither. Like me, I'm a nuclear physicist. I split me some atoms. Big ones, I do. You drift into Gulf, you get drifted into the Gulf Coast, you get to my favorite state, my second favorite state, Louisiana. I don't know if you've ever been to Louisiana, but the funny thing about that state is the further you head south in it, the less people can understand you. Like in the capital, Baton Rouge. See, everybody in Baton Rouge kind of sound about the same. They sound just what I'm talking about right now, but you can all understand what I'm saying. Then you get a little further south, then you're in New Orleans. Everybody still kind of sound about the same, but every fourth of a word, you don't saying anything the same, but you understand more what they're saying. Then you get even further south. Now you're in Cajun country. There ain't nobody knows what you're talking about him. Boy, you better get with that small boat. Go to Alligator over there. That boy crazy. He's gonna do wrong. He crazy. It's like the show Swamp People. It really is. I don't know if you've seen the show Swamp People, but they got subtitles. They're speaking English. Why is there subtitles? If you never saw the show, this is an actual phrase from the show. Shoot him in the head. Get him in the boat. Shoot him in the head. Get him in the boat. It's a real phrase. And I don't feel bad for people in that show. I don't feel bad for people watching that show. I feel bad for the person doing the captioning for the show. Because, you know, she's like, what the fuck? I don't know, ampersand, ampersand, exclamation point. Fuck it, I quit. And one of the best things about being able to do different accents and dialects, I like to call people up and just mess with them. Because I'm a comic. I work like 30, 40 hours a year. It's a hectic lifestyle. I don't recommend it. And especially during the pandemic, and we all do get the same thing. We all get the phone, and everybody, we know it's telemarketers, and everybody gets pissed off. Not me. I just pick it up and go, I'm not supposed to use the phone today. Do you know that you can save up to 35% on your electric bill? I just did a poopy, and I have matches. Can I speak to your parents? I just killed them. They are dead. And I got the phone. They do not call back. You know, folks, I was going to do another one, but I'll tell you what. I'm going to be the host, so you guys are in a good mood. You're all warmed up. Very nice. Yeah, I don't want to take too much away. I think we've been doing all right. You guys are nice, warmed up. So again, my name is Mark. I'm just going to be the host. This is a competition. All the comics I know, here's what I'm going to do. All the comics I know, I love them. They're all very funny. That's how I'm going to introduce everybody. So it's all standard. But if you guys are having fun, let them know. Make a lot of noise. Really keep the energy up. It's just like sex. The more noise you make, the better we think we're doing. So it always works out nice. That's what my wife told me. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start this show off. You ready? Let's do this. All right, let me see. I got so many crickets. Hey. This is a story about a whale. Your first comic coming to stage, Matthew Fanikos.
Guys, I made a first date really awkward by going in for a kiss. Not my proudest moment as a waiter. Back in college, I had the worst friends, right? I had the worst friends of all time. My friends jokingly put 4 Viagras in my Tic Tac container. They told me immediately, but I forgot and chugged the Tic Tacs right before my first day lifeguarding at a children's pool. As soon as I start lifeguarding the kids, I get the biggest boner of my fucking life. And worried I'm overdosing on Viagra, I go sprint to check the Tic Tacs, praying I only took 1 Viagra. Worst case scenario. All 4 of the Viagras were still there. And then a couple kids drowned. It was quite the fucking scene. A little bit about me. I work at a high school. I work at a high school with a bunch of low-functioning autistic people. I don't know how they got hired. For me, the part about working at a high school that makes me laugh the most is the freshman boys. These kids are so jealous and aggressive. Like, one shouted out in my class, when I find out who my ex-girlfriend's hooking up with, I'm gonna knock him out with 1 punch. And I had to bring this kid back down to earth. I was like, buddy, you weigh 105 fucking pounds. It's gonna take a lot more than 1 punch to knock me out. You see some crazy shit working at a high school, though, let me tell you. Like, I assigned my students a creative writing project, and this one girl passed in a suicide note. And it said some of the same disturbing things as Kurt Cobain's suicide note. And as an educator, I have to take something like this so seriously. I was like, look, obviously I have to report this for plagiarism. And it was a couple days late. I mean, I don't put up with that shit. I was like, look, I don't know if you're gonna be here next week, but... Look, I get it. I'm not an idiot, right? Like, I realize these jokes aren't for everyone. Like, this one woman wrote on Facebook what a scumbag I was for joking about autism, joking about hooking up with students, and joking about a plagiarized suicide note. And I was like, holy fucking shit. She must have loved the Viagra joke. And In the back of my classroom, there's a Rosa Parks poster that's been there for over 30 years. She just can't be moved. The best part about your brother dying in a house fire? You don't have to pay for cremation. That's on the house. I saw some crazy shit on my way to work the other day. I caught some guy getting a road dome in the middle of traffic. This guy's getting his dick sucked in the middle of Monday morning traffic. I'm not gonna lie. The guy had the biggest hog piece I've ever fucking seen. I was like, bro, you should be doing porn instead of driving my Uber. There is nothing better than having sex in a brand new car and then not buying it. You know, it's fucking sweet. Are you ever driving, right? Are you ever driving and have to shit so bad that you turn off the radio? It happened to me. I started speeding, and then I ran over the thing that holds up the stop sign, the crossing guard, and then I shit myself. It was all good. I mean, I got here on time, so. All right, that's gonna be good for me. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Matthew Hykenos. Let's keep that audience going. Your next comic coming to the stage, Tom Spohn.
Everyone, look at us out here. You should be proud of yourselves. Look at us. Stimulating the economy. That's what I've been trying to do with the politicians. They're like, you gotta get out. You gotta support local businesses. You gotta stimulate the economy. That's what we're doing, right? Stimulating the economy. We used to call it getting drunk. But now we can call it stimulating the economy. Honestly, I used to think I might be an alcoholic. Turns out I was just a local investor. People have asked me, Tom, what are you investing in? GameStop, Bitcoin? I'm like, have you heard of Murphy's Tavern? Because I'm a stakeholder. I've been hanging out with my parents a lot. They're moving. You know, hanging out with your parents really brings you back to being a kid, makes you reflect on how things have changed since you've gotten older. Like when I was a kid, my favorite sport was basketball. Now that I'm grown, my favorite sport's probably poker. Some people say poker's not a sport, but I say if it makes you sweat and your dad's mad when you lose, it counts as a sport. Right? As a kid, I used to wonder why bicyclists wore spandex. I thought it was a weird workout attire. Now that we're adults, we're like, oh, it's so we know who's biking for exercise and who's got a DUI. That joke's called stimulating the economy. As a kid, I used to wonder why they taught us cursive, right? They're like, you'll need cursive, you'll use cursive one day. And that wasn't true. Now the only time I use cursive is when I'm signing a check or peeing my name in the snow. Sometimes that joke gets a little depressing, like an older guy will come up after and be like, hey, enjoy the cursive while it lasts. You start writing in print eventually, and then it turns to Morse code. I am excited for the winter, though. I love skiing. Sometimes you catch flack for skiing, though. People be like, oh, skiing, the rich, entitled sport. And that's fair, but it's not the richest, most entitled sport, because that would be snowmobile jumping. Because to afford that sport, you need to buy a snowmobile, jump it, and if it doesn't land, buy another snowmobile. Someone corrected me after a show. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You got it all wrong. We practice into a foam pit, so we're not just wrecking snowmobiles. It's not that expensive. So to be fair, correction, to afford snowmobile jumping, you just need to afford a snowmobile, a giant foam pit, and a machine that can lift a snowmobile out of a giant foam pit. So it's basically soccer. I've been trying to better myself the past year. I decided to start going to therapy, but I'm going to teletherapy, so it leads to some miscommunication with my therapist. Like the first meeting, she said, hey, you need to tell your roommate to stop talking in the background. I can't hear you. Tell your roommate to stop talking in the background. And I would have. The thing is, I don't have a roommate. But you can imagine that's a hard argument to win the first time meeting a therapist. Being like, no, I'm pretty sure you're the one hearing voices. I did have anxiety, so I went to the therapist. I decided to get a journal to help the anxiety. And there's pros and cons to getting the journal. Pro is help my anxiety. Con is all my friends made fun of me for having a diary. Which is fair. A journal's basically a diary. And I can be like, whoa, 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 it's a journal, not a diary. But you start to sound like that kid growing up who's like, whoa, 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 it's an action figure, not a doll. Or your friend nowadays who's like, whoa, 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 it's a cold sore, not herpes. One of those liars. I am very awkward sexually. I don't know if you can tell. I feel like it's my look, right? I feel like it's the eyebrows. Like I constantly look like excited but surprised, but scared. Like I always look like a kid who just saw his first boob. Like I like this, but is this allowed? Very awkward sexually. I didn't have my first kiss till I was 17, if you can imagine. But I didn't get, that kind of hurt, but she was like, we all know. But I didn't have my first kiss till I was 17. 5 minutes later, had sex with that woman. That's quite a jump, right? Going from your first kiss to sex in 5 minutes. It's like if your dad sat you down for your first beer, you look over and he's chopping up an 8-ball. You're doing the real stuff right now, son. I am from a very rural part of New Hampshire. A lot of stuff has changed in my town since I grew up. Like 20 years ago, there's a documentary in my town. It was on farming. A year ago, documentary in my town was on heroin. It was obviously very depressing, but it's quite a confusing overlap going from farming to heroin. Puts a dark twist on the phrase, finding a needle in the haystack. Like, apparently it's supposed to be difficult. I was asked to go on a date recently. A girl wanted to go out for wings with me. As a first date, wings. Wings is not a first date, right? That's a messy, intimate experience. That's something where you go into like, hey, we might look at each other different after this. Like, I feel like the wings is the anal of dinner dates. Like, you want to wait a while, and then finally it's your anniversary, you're like, honey, we're doing wings? All right, well, let's try not to stain anything. All right, that's it for me, everyone. Thank you very much.
Tom Spahn, everybody! Let's keep it going. Your next comedian, Emily Walsh.
Hello, Boston. I am excited to be here. I obviously got really dressed up for you guys. Thank you. Yeah, they say that you should dress for the job that you want, and I want to be your dad. So, I think I nailed it. I don't know if you guys have style icons when you get dressed in the morning, people you want to look like. I always am going for like rude barista. I don't know if that's relatable. I feel like I land somewhere much closer to saddest gal at a tech startup. You know? She eats lunch alone and she throws theme birthday parties. You guys get it. You can laugh. I wrote that joke and I bought this shirt. I know what we're dealing with. I know that most people see me and they just think, dang, she probably knows a lot about Teddy Roosevelt. I do, if you want to talk about it later. I just got married this summer. That was fun. Thank you, guys. Planning a wedding is kind of insane, though. Everybody wants to get involved in your life, you know, your friends, your family, your parents. Everybody kind of want to get their little fingies in there, you know. We don't have time to get into it, and this is a really fun show, but my dad, he's kind of dead to me. He's dead to you guys, too. He's dead. Yeah, so I had to father the bride myself, you know. I just carried a mirror around, and I was like, sorry, kiddo, we cannot afford that. My mom was there, though, you guys. She was there, and she walked me down the aisle, which is really nice. Yeah. She wore white, but she was there. But yeah, we're married, and marriage, let me tell you guys, marriage, when you date for 7 years, marriage is the same. It's exactly the same. Except now I have a husband, and he has a ring, and he likes to click it on things. He just likes to see what every surface sounds like, get a really good click going, you know? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm really sorry. I didn't give everybody here just a second to process the fact that I married a man. Yeah. Not a lesbian, I just know I'd be a good one. People have been calling me gay since I was about 15, you know? And I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because my voice is a little bit deeper. I don't know if it's because I think this is a going out outfit. I don't know if it's because I own enough hammers that I have a favorite one, you know? Just something about me. I think it's because people forget you can like boy stuff and also like boy stuff, you know? That guy knows. Yeah. So once you get married, everyone starts demanding that you have kids, you know? And I don't know if I want them yet, which it's tough because I think my husband will be such a good mom, you know? I really do. Like, he's what you might call a sweetie pie. Like, he answers the phone when he doesn't know who's calling. It's actually disgusting. Like, the entire pandemic, it would ring and he'd pick it up and be like, I'd love to tell you about my wireless plan. It's not great. Like, when he eats Ben and Jerry's ice cream, every single time he calls it Benjamin and Gerald's. Yeah. That's what we're dealing with. I don't know if I could be a mom. I think I could be a dad. You know, like, I think I could watch my own kids and call it babysitting, you know? I'm kind of already a dad, if you'll go with me on this. Like, I love to yell at people while I drive. I love to tell young people what to do with their money. I've never turned off a World War II documentary in my lifetime, you know? So I think we could be okay parents, you know? But yeah, so we got married, and we couldn't go on a honeymoon because of COVID, but we did go on a mini moon. Do you guys know what that is? Mini moon? Okay, if you don't know what it is, it's when you buy 100 people dinner so you're out of money. That's what that is. Yeah, so we went up to the Catskills, and it was nice. We're there, and we have the box of cards, you know, the cards from everybody at the wedding. And my husband, the sweetie pie, he just goes, we might get some cash in these cards. And I was like, oh, maybe. And he was like, what if we made it rain? And I was like, excuse me? And he was like, what if you were naked and I threw money at your body? And I was like, you get me, you know? First act is man and wife. Fuck the threshold, you know? Let's just do this. But I'm fun, you guys, so I said yes. But the problem with this, that's how you know somebody's fun, they tell you. But the problem with this is that our families don't have a ton of money, you know? So there weren't like crisp 20s in those cards. Yeah, it was a lot of like crumpled 10s. That's not sexy, right? You can't throw money at a woman if you know it came out of a coffee can that says Nana's Casino Fund. You know what I mean? It can't come out of a Velcro wallet and go on to your wife. So instead we just had sex while I did phone deposits. All right, you guys, I'm Emily Walsh. Have a great rest of your night.
Emily Walsh, everybody! Almost banged my teeth out just then. So let's keep this show going. Your next comic, KC McNeil!
Thanks a lot. Hey, wow, it's great to be here. As I see so many happy faces, I've been riding the bus all day. Does this happen to you when you're on the bus? Some weird guy gets on, right? He sits down right next to you, and he wants to talk out loud about his weird problems through the whole ride. Well, I'm that guy, and I'm not stopping. So saddle up. What is the problem? Is it this face? I'm originally from Michigan. I'm from the hickey redneck part of Michigan called Michigan, and well, this is the face you end up with. Everywhere I go, I bring all the charm and sophistication of a department manager at Walmart. Oh, you didn't recognize me? How about now? Let me tell you something. When you look like this, you can be at any Walmart in America. Bring your A game. You're going to be answering some questions in sporting goods. Well, I have a lot of mental disorders. We'll start with easy stuff. I have the attention deficit disorder. Anyone else like being late all the time? Yeah. Well, yeah, I know it's popular because they gave it a new name. When it became popularly diagnosed, they called it attention deficit disorder. When I was a kid, it was called minimal brain dysfunction. Because back then, that's how they built character in children. They didn't have help for parents back then. Like, they have all kinds of guides and instructions now. There are even warning labels on cigarettes not to smoke when you're pregnant. I asked my mom if she smoked when she was pregnant with me. She said, only when I was drinking. So you might have the attention deficit disorder, right, like me. But if you're like me, and I know I am, I also have obsessive compulsive disorder. Oh, do you know what that is? Do you know what it 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 is? Okay, now we all kind of know what it is. Obsessive compulsive disorder is a mental disorder characterized by the obsessive repetition of unwanted thoughts, or the compulsive repetition of tasks, or the obsessive compulsive repetition of thoughts or tasks, or the obsessive compulsive over-explanation of mental disorders, or... Before I get distracted, the distractions are the only thing that saved me from my obsessions. Now, you know you're messed up in the head when you have to use one of your mental disorders to relieve the symptoms of another one of your mental disorders. For example, with OCD in the grocery store, the distractions are the only thing that stopped me from spending 3 hours picking out a lemon. The next one might be better. The next one might be... So before too long, I get distracted by, like, blueberries or something, and don't get me started on how long those take. The point is I have obsessive compulsive disorder and attention deficit disorder. Do you know how difficult it is to be perfectionistic and a quitter? And obsessive compulsive disorder, it's discouraging, you know? It's discouraging to your attitude. Like, optimists say the glass is half full, right? Pessimists say the glass is half empty. Then I look at the glass and think, I bet somebody drank out of that. I try to get help for this stuff. The library had one of these things you can spend 30 minutes with a therapy dog, right? I thought that would be pretty cool. He didn't understand a fucking thing I was talking about. Just kept trying to comfort me the whole time. I'm like, listen, Skippy, Dr. Skippy, don't patronize me. I came to do the real work here. So I had to get a human therapist. I told him I don't like to answer my phone. He said, Casey, you need to learn to be more open and honest with people. See, guys, I think I took the first step. I changed my greeting. So now if you call me up and says, hi, this is Casey. I'm here right now. But a moment ago, I saw your caller ID, and I had a decision to make. I try to get help for this stuff, you guys. On TV, they have one of those 24-hour telethons to raise money and awareness for obsessive-compulsive disorder. Pretty cool, a whole day, right? I missed it. I was at the store picking out some blueberries. You guys are nice. I tell you, you know, when you do this kind of thing, you get recognized once in a while, but people never know what they know you from. This guy stopped me on the street the other day and said, hey, wait a second, I know you. I've seen you before. You're that guy, right? No, don't tell me. I'll get it. You work at Walmart, right? My name's Casey McNeil. That's what I'm going to do for you tonight. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Casey McNeil, everyone! Let's keep this going. Your next comic coming to the stage, Lily Meyer!
Well, thanks. Hi, so I'm single and dating. That's fun. Yeah, when I start dating people, I'm always like the initiator, you know? I'm the one that like texts first and I like set up the dates. But then after a couple months, I get lazy, you know what I mean? And my therapist says what I'm doing is setting unrealistic expectations or whatever because I want the other person to start doing it. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying. So I'm not texting this guy that I'm dating right now. I'm waiting for him to text me, but it's not going that well because it's been 2.5 years and I'm waiting that text. I just like thought at least I'd get a happy birthday text from my dad. You know what I mean? I thought, yeah. If you don't think that's funny, you just don't know how hot my dad is. He is hot, yeah. I actually recently moved in with my mom and my hot dad. Yeah, I moved back in with them. I had a friend call me spoiled because I live there for free. And you know what? Maybe I am spoiled, but I just think my parents' love language is gift giving. Definitely not words of affirmation or I wouldn't be here needing you guys. You know what I mean? Like this wouldn't be happening. That's almost too much, you know? Yeah, but I'm 28 and I moved in with my parents. When you're 28 and you're living with your parents, it's similar to having a one-night stand with a man. They're very similar experiences because you go into it like, hey, this might be kind of fun. I really hope that no one sees my areolas, and I'm definitely not coming. That's not happening. I don't know if anybody here has ever tried to masturbate when their parents are downstairs watching Chicago PD. Yeah. Not only is it like a huge mood killer, but it's just extremely distracting. It's really distracting. Because I'm upstairs, like, trying to make up my own female forward porn in my head. And it's not that I don't watch porn. I do watch porn. I just don't watch porn when I'm in my childhood bedroom and my parents are downstairs watching Chicago PD. You know what I mean? Because I'd have to wear headphones, obviously, and all I have is AirPods, and I cannot risk leaving the Bluetooth on my phone. You know where it's going. Accidentally having it connect to my dad's Bose speakers downstairs. Yeah. Could you imagine if my parents were just watching Sophia Bush save like her 10th heroin addict of the week, and in the background, all they heard was, "You are safe. You are okay. Tomorrow's a new day." Because my porn is just watching privileged white women do positive affirmation ASMR. That's my porn. Turns out the childhood issues I got from my parents became my kink. Who would have thought? You know what I mean? Who would have thought? Yeah, I moved in with my parents. I haven't lived there for 10 years. It's been a long time. And I forgot a lot about my parents, right? Like my dad, he's a very emotionally stable guy. But his emotional well-being is completely dependent on the grass in the front yard. Yeah. I swear to God, my dad was a blade of grass in a previous life. I swear to God. Because when he finds a dry patch of grass in the front yard, it's like the death of a friend he hasn't spoken to in like 40 plus years, right? Because he's not crying or anything, but he's saying stuff like, "Oh, I should have done more for you when I had the chance." You know what I mean? Like, still too much. It's just the grass. Still too much. Yeah. My dad, like, we have wild turkeys in our neighborhood, and they got into the front yard, and they, like, dug up the holes. And in my head, I was like, my God, I've got to get out of the house before my dad comes home and cries for the first time in 6 months. You know what I mean? 6 months ago was a really emotional episode of Chicago PD, so I don't blame him for that one. You know what I mean? Don't blame him. But yeah, my dad, very emotionally stable. Like, you know how some dads, when their kids play sports, are like screaming in the stands at their kids? That was not my dad at all. My dad was very, like, just a good dad. He was very supportive. I was a figure skater, and he, you know, I was very bad. I would get, like, last place a lot. And after every competition, he would come up at the end and be like, "Honey, you did so good. That spinny thing looks so cool." And I was like, "Were you even there?" You know what I mean? But also, thank God he had the grass, right? Or else he definitely would have hit me if I got last place. You know what I mean? Like, he needed that grass. You know what I mean? He needed it. And this, my mom, one thing I forgot about her is she's a boomer, so her idea of mental health, very different from mine. Like, I take Zoloft, and for those of you that don't know, Zoloft is an antidepressant, but you probably know because it's 10 p.m. on a Wednesday and you're at a comedy show. You probably know what that is, yeah. But yeah, my mom found my Zoloft in the bathroom, and she got very quiet. She was like, "Oh, honey, I just really hope you don't have to be on that for too long." I was like, "Yeah, Mom, I also hope I move out soon." You know what I mean? I also want that for me, too. Okay, you guys have been so much fun. My name's Lily Meyer. Thanks. Have a good rest of your show.
Lily Meyer, everyone! Keep that energy going for Riva Riley!
Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. My name is Riva Riley, and like many people who try stand-up comedy, I had a strange upbringing. For me, it starts with the fact that my mother is actually Indian. My father, on the other hand, is a great big white guy, which everyone here could have guessed the second I came on stage. My parents got married over 40 years ago. That was before interracial marriage was cool, or at least legal in West Virginia. And their marriage has produced 4 hybrid children. Now, my siblings come in a rainbow of colors. They're all very beautiful, and they all look appropriately mixed race. They're what white people mean when they say exotic. And then there's me. I look like a hardy medieval peasant girl who's survived many harsh winters. Genetics is a lottery, and I lost. And despite the existence of, mirrors, I didn't realize I looked like this for a really long time. And that's because our mom made the fascinating decision to raise us as Indian children. And she went all out. Like, we're all vegetarians, we're all good at math. Only half of us are doctors, but then she did marry a white guy. That was a risk she took. But my Indian upbringing was so intense that when I got to school, I was shocked that no one could tell I was Indian at all. I had a full-on kindergarten crisis when I realized, oh my God, am I white? Oh, sweet Ganesh. Now, the reason I invoke Ganesh is because Ganesh is the god of overcoming obstacles. That's one of the many things I learned as the only white kid in Hindu Sunday school. My religious education was difficult at best. Like, one of the most common activities we do in Hindu Sunday school was put on skits about the various gods, and I played a demon in every one. Know all the demons. And as if being the only white kid in Hindu Sunday school wasn't weird enough, my mom's not actually from India. She's of Indian descent, but she was born and raised in East Africa. And like so much of the weirdness in the world, we have England to thank for that. England took over India, and I did live in England for several years, and after experiencing English cuisine, I understand why they did it. Doesn't make it right, but the motive was clear. So England took over India. They scattered Indians left, right, and center. My great-grandparents were born in Zanzibar, and my mom grew up with this fascinating fusion of cultures and languages. She grew up speaking Gujarati, Swahili, another African language called Manyumazi. The culture was so distinct that she often didn't see eye to eye with Indians from India, and she inadvertently raised her children to be suspicious of them. You can imagine my surprise at age 8 to realize that most Indians are in fact from India. In fact, India is the major source of Indians worldwide. Another weird ripple effect of my mom's upbringing was me in Hindu Sunday school, doing my best, giving it the old college try. I'd raise my hand to answer a question. At the time, answered it in African language no one understood or recognized. Pretty sure it seemed like I was possessed. Makes sense why I was always cast as a demon now. I will say that being the only white person in Indian spaces gave me a tiny glimpse of what my mom went through as a brown woman in America. When my mom came to the States, she was the only brown person in her high school. And word got out that she came from Africa. And the school newspaper interviewed her to ask her if she had lived in trees. And my mom, who does not suffer fools, went, yeah. We did. Anyway, that is my time. You've been so lovely. Thank you so much.
Riva Riley, everyone! Let's keep that energy going. Your next comedian coming to the stage, Saku Yanagawa.
What's up? My name is Saku Yanagawa. I was born and raised in Japan. Yeah, but I'm so happy to be here in America because America is great. Yeah, actually, I live in Chicago right now. Then America is interesting because I just realized many people have tattoo on your bodies. So make some noise if you have tattoo here tonight. That's great, but you guys are illegal in Japan. Because in Japan, traditionally, having tattoo means joining Japanese mafia called Yakuza. So if you have tattoo, you cannot even go to public swimming pool. So when I came to America for the first time, I thought, wow, Japanese mafia finally expanded their territories. And most of the members are white men with mum buns. Yeah. But I think recently America used the term hero too much. Because I went to the restaurant the other day, then I found a poster at the entrance. It said, wear a mask, be a hero. Are you sure? Can you guys be a hero just wearing a mask? All right, if so, we Asians have been your hero for fucking 40 years. But I think a hero is a matter of perspective. For example, your greatest hero during World War II is my grandpa's greatest enemy. Okay, that's awkward but true. Because 10 years ago, my American friend took me to the baseball game for the first time. And at the beginning of the game, announcer said, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and take your hat off. And give it up for World War II hero, Sergeant Mike Smith. And everyone stood and clapped like, woo! But I didn't know if I should. Because, you know. Yeah, but I didn't want to be disrespectful. So I just stood and clapped twice. One for each bomb. What? Too soon for you guys? Yeah. That's why we need Asian superhero movies in America. Thank you, yeah. So how about a Japanese Aquaman? He basically provides a good seafood from ocean. This is tuna, no soy sauce. Actually, I went to a lot of sushi restaurants in America, but somehow I don't trust sushi chefs who are good at English. Because I went to fancy sushi place in Chicago, but chef was like, oh, this tuna was locally harvested by a fisherman who recycles, so this tuna is a happy tuna. You can tell about small smile on his lip. He was a fucking bullshit. So probably Japanese Aquaman is not the best choice. So how about another Asian superhero whose name is a Chinese Batman? He can save your life, but you will have to stay home for 2 weeks. Okay, that's too soon, right? That's too soon, right? My point is we should stop Asian hate right now. So that we Asians can go back to hating each other. That's our game to play, so please leave us alone. Right? But I think, you know, Asian men are underrated. Thank you. Some people say that Asian men are not even sexy, which is bullshit. That's why, as I represent Japan, I have been sleeping with so many women from all over the world. And I realized I'm a patriot. Because I like to sleep with the women who are on the period making Japanese flag on my sheets. Okay, when I said this joke 2 months ago, 8 people walked out. Yeah, I hate that joke. Are you guys having fun? Yeah, me too. Do you understand my English? Yeah, me too. But honestly, I realize nowadays Japanese anime pornography has been big in this country, called hentai. Yeah. But it is a fact that many American people masturbate to Japanese cartoons. I can't do the same. I mean, I can't masturbate to American cartoons. SpongeBob will never make me come. I've tried. My name is Saku Yanagawa. You guys are great. Thank you so much.
Saku Yanagawa! So funny. Let's keep it going. Your next comedian, Peter Liu.
Whoa, 2 Asians back to back, huh? put the Chinese guy after the Japanese guy. I think they're trying to start World War III. That's what they're trying to do. Yeah, you guys look like you're having a good time. Well, everyone's wearing masks. That's nice. I actually always wore a mask, you know, especially if I was visiting my parents, you know, not for their safety, but so they could pretend I became a doctor. Oh, man. The Asians really feel that one. The only 3 in the front crowd. Yeah, you know, like most of these lawn chairs, I was made in China. Made in China and assembled in America. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was born in China, guys. You know, I was born in a pristine, pollution-free, and politically non-corrupt China. I gotta say that, they're listening. I was born in China, and then, you know, when I was 8, actually, I moved to Australia, because, you know, my parents wanted to experience racism. And then when we found it too mild, we came here. But yeah, I'm actually glad I was exposed to racism at an early age, right? Because racism is useful for building things like character, resilience, and railroads. That's a historic era. Yeah, you guys get that one. There you go. Nice, nice. But yeah, it's interesting being Asian during the pandemic, right? Like Saku mentioned, there was like an increase in attacks towards Asians, right? It's actually why I'm here. I'm hiding. I don't think they'll find me. But yeah, like I remember in the beginning when this Chinese woman was attacked for wearing a face mask by a black guy. And I remember thinking, yo, what the fuck, man? I thought we were supposed to be allies after everything we've been through. Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, different organizations, they've been trying to combat this by handing out whistles. Now, I think bringing a whistle to a hate crime is about as useful as bringing a whistle to any other crime. Right? Like if I'm about to attack someone, like the Asians in the front, and I find out that they're armed with whistles, I am now twice as confident that I'm gonna succeed. Right? Because no one has a whistle and a gun. So a whistle is just a very loud way of announcing that I have no weapons. Follow the sound to find me. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I wish they offered something more tangible. Like I myself am a martial artist. I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because, you know, I just wanted someone to hold me. I've been trying to get inspired, trying to get into motivational stuff. Anyone in here into motivational quotes? Yeah, a couple people, nice. The rest of you content being with who you are. That's fine. I'm gonna share this one that I read recently. It's a Japanese one. It goes, Nana korobi ya oki. And that translates to fall down 7 times, get up 8. It's very famous. Now, the Japanese are a very persistent people, and you can tell by their proverbs and their war crimes. But they're not very good at math, unlike the Chinese, the original Asians. That saying should really be, fall down 7 times, get up 7 times. Right? You fall once, you get up once. You fall twice, you get up twice. You can't get up more times than you fell. That's like saying fall asleep 7 times, wake up 8. right? Unless you're taking shrooms, you can't wake up when you're already awake. Or it's like saying jerk off 7 times, come 8. Go to Taco Bell 7 times, get diarrhea 8. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But hey, I get it, right? They were trying to be inspirational. They were exaggerating for effect. But I'm going to share the Chinese one with you today. I think you're going to like it a lot better. It makes a lot more sense. You ready? Don't fall. Hey, you guys have been wonderful. My name is Peter Liu. Have a good night.
Peter Liu, everyone! Let's keep it going for your next comedian, Jessie Body.
Hey, thank you, Mark Squidabber. How are you? I am very happy to be here, mostly because I found parking in Somerville. Prayer circles work, people. I'm very nervous, and I'm very hungry, because I've been intermittent fasting badly. I just attacked a bucket bag of nuts like they fucked my husband. My husband gets mad at me because I swear a lot. Fuck him. No. One time we were sitting in a diner in Brooklyn with our daughter where we made her for the tax write-off. And she was 1.5. And she had her bottle sitting on the edge of the table in the diner. And she drops it off the side of the table. She looks at the people sitting next to us, and she goes, "Oh, shit." I'm still so proud. But my husband looks at me, and he goes, "That is not acceptable." And I said, "Well, cocksucker's too big a word." Honestly, there's worse words in the world than cocksucker. Why is he so bent out of shape? When you call somebody a loser, you're saying that they are a worthless human being. When you call somebody a cocksucker, you're just saying they're friendly. Cocksucker. It's mellifluous. He has got to relax. Dr. Body, that's what I call him because he's a scientist, but also because it sounds like a Muppet, which I find oddly hot. Don't judge. See, when I married him, he was an actor, a really cute little actor in New York. Oh, my. And now he's got his PhD in molecular biology from Brandeis University. And when I find the person who taught him how to read, I'm going to fucking kill them. Because everybody in my family are scientists. Where did I go wrong? I had a dyslexic actor who was considerably younger than me. I thought I maybe blocked that shot. But no, our family motto is, well, actually. If we had a crest, it'd just be a picture of a dead lab rat. So now I've got another. Oh, my word. I suppose I've been married 23 years to him. Oh, no. Believe me, I tried to get out of it at one point. For every 2 years or 20 years of marriage, every 20 years of marriage, there's at least 2 years of justifiable homicide, I promise you. I tried to get divorced. Too much paperwork. I couldn't do it. It's laziness. So I stayed in it. And you know what? But we had a little sex today. It was lovely. Thank you. I got laid. And bonus, got some reading in. So there you go. I'm very fond of male ejaculation. I find it adorable. It's like a tiny little fountain at the beautiful Bellagio Hotel in beautiful downtown Las Vegas, Nevada, but without Sinatra and the blue lighting, because, you know, who wants your dad singing in the room while you're fucking... Anyway, I appreciate him. I like him now, okay? Because I remember what it was like dating. I remember when I went on a date, back with the dinosaurs, when some man actually offered to lick my entire body all over, and all I could think of was, who has that much spit? My tits alone would give you cotton mouth. I'm hungry. I think about cake way too much. I came off a ramp the other day and almost hit a bakery truck. And I wasn't upset that I almost died. I was upset because the cake got away. Honestly, if I could die with a mouthful of buttercream frosting before it could attach itself to my ass, that is a beautiful and a noble death. Thank you. Unless it's carrot cake. My last words would have been, what the fuck? Because carrot cake is what happens when you run out of ingredients and you go to the compost. It ain't bacon if it involves a root vegetable manual labor. Although I'm totally lying and I would eat carrot cake right now. Oh, hell, I'd eat a corpse if you put enough sugar on it right now. In fact, I'm leaving on that note because I really need a snack. My name is Jessie Body. Thank you so much. Keep it going, remarks to me.
Jessie Body, everyone! Let's keep it going for your next comedian, Andrew Delavope!
So much, man. Thank you, everybody. Good to be here. Good to see people again. I've been working from home, so it's good to see you all. I used to work at a restaurant. For the pandemic, I started working from home. Me and all my roommates do. My one roommate doesn't do it the way you're supposed to do it, from his bedroom. He works at our kitchen table, and he's always on Zoom. So that means if I'm in the kitchen, I'm also on Zoom. So I have to dress business casual just to make a coffee in the morning. I'm up at night ironing khakis, trying on button-downs. The other day I forgot, went in shirtless, ended up in HR at a company I don't work for. They docked my pay, it was a whole thing. I was living at my parents' house for the longest time. I finally moved out. Me and my dad, we would get in a fight about anything. By the end of my tenure, we were in a fight over ice. Our freezer didn't make enough ice, we got in a fight every morning. Finally, we got a new solution. I got ice cube trays. He took the ice that the freezer made. I took the trays, all good. Then one day I came downstairs, all my ice was gone, we got into a huge fight. It was such a big fight he couldn't sleep that night. He was so flustered, he accidentally took an Adderall instead of a Lipitor. Because I put his Adderall in his Lipitor. You should see our place. So he was up all night. It's a hell of a drug. Cleaned the whole thing. Mom was pumped. Like I said, I'm at my own place now, but for the longest time I was living at home. I was working at a restaurant, dating a girl. You're caught up, okay? A little while ago while I was still there, I was upstairs in my room one day. My mom was downstairs doing laundry. I hear her yell. She goes, "Andrew, what the hell is this? Is this a condom or is this a balloon?" Now, guys, I knew it wasn't a condom, right? But, like, I really knew it wasn't a balloon. She comes running upstairs with what looks like a tiny blue condom. So what could that be? Remember at the time I was working at a restaurant. Basically at restaurants, there was things called finger condoms, right? You cut your pinky, you slide it over your pinky, you don't bleed in people's food. So she thought a pinky-sized condom was a condom that I use for sex. And it's like, I get it, Mom. It's been a while since you've seen my penis. But I've grown since last year. So show me some respect. You guys are cool. My friends, not cool. They're cool enough, but they're very anxious, but not about things that make sense, right? I got one buddy goes, dude, I don't want to do any of the DNA testing, 23andMe antibody test. He goes, I don't want to do it because I don't want the government to have my DNA. If the government has my DNA, they can make a clone of me. They can make another version of me. And I'm like, listen, Sam, I promise the government does not want to make another version of you, okay? Do you know how I know this? Your little sister is adopted. Your parents didn't even want to make another version of you, all right, man? They had you, and they're like, wow, this isn't great. Let's try something else. That's why baby sister's a cute Korean girl with the last name what, man? You did this, man. Doesn't really shake out that way. It's very good to be here in Davis Square. Back at the gym, gotta get back in shape after the quarantine, right? I love the gym. You see crazy things at the gym. My gym has 2 floors. The other day, I go up to the 2nd floor, just one guy up there doing horse kicks in the mirror. It's like, yeah, I'll come back later. I don't need a pump that bad. Go downstairs, see a guy got a t-shirt on, has a picture of the American flag on it. And underneath it says, if this flag offends you, I'll help you pack. And I was like, no way. No way will this guy help you pack, right? That would be really nice. Look, you're telling me you're gonna take a weekend, which is like prime ignorant hate crime time, and help someone you fundamentally disagree with? That's a bigger man than I am. And it's good to be out again, though. I took my first trip after the pandemic. I flew down to Memphis, visit my sister down in Memphis. And one of their biggest attractions there, I swear to God, is the Bass Pro Shops, okay? It sounds crazy, but it's a glass dome. You can take an elevator to the top. They got a hotel on the inside, boats in water. Like, do the boats float? They fucking float right there, buddy. But the coolest thing is you can shoot a gun there. And I'm from Boston. I've never shot a gun before. Guns scare me. I walk in, I'm like, I'd like to shoot a gun, please. And the guy goes, well, you have to own a gun if you want to shoot one here. So I was like, fine, can I hold a gun? He's like, fine, kid, which gun do you want to hold? I'm not proud of this, but I said, I'd like to hold a gun that'll make me look manly, please. And then he said, you're asking too much of our guns. Guys, thank you very much.
Andrew Delavope, everybody. Keep that energy going for Lincoln Sorscher.
Hi, everybody. My name's Lincoln Sorcerer. That's the first time my name has been correctly pronounced by anyone ever. Thanks. Something to know about me, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think the COVID vaccine was made in a lab. Look it up, sheeple. My aunt told me about it. Quick disclaimer. I'm white. But I'm often mistaken for other races. It happens all the time. Last week, my friend was at the Asian American Alliance thing and asked my roommate, hey, where's Lincoln? Why is he not here? And my roommate went, because he's Mexican. I'm mistaken for other races, but it's different in the past, because I grew up in Alabama, and being mistaken for other races plays out a little differently in Alabama. The big thing is, so I'll just be walking around Alabama, as I do, and someone will yell a racial slur at me, and I'll go, no, I'm white. And they'll go, I'm so sorry. I'm better than that. Better to white people. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And then they'll walk away, but they'll come back and be like, I have so many white friends. I just want you to know that. I grew up in Alabama. A lot of people want to know what that's like. Here's how I explain it to people. There used to be a billboard very close to where I lived. And all it said was, God created everything. And then there's a picture of E.T. crossed out. That's all you need to know about Alabama. Otherwise, forget that it's a state. We're better off that way. I've been nervous this week. I'm nervous because I'm about to go see my brother this weekend. And I love my brother. Alabama things. I love my brother, but he's the kind of guy when he's going through a hard time, he can kind of take it out on other people by accident. So last time he was going through a hard time, he called me up and he told me, Lincoln, I feel so desperately alone. I think I finally understand what it's like to be you. And I wanted to be there for him because he's my brother. So I said, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Me. So he also can get kind of weird when he's going through something. So last time, after he broke up, went through a big breakup, my brother proposed gay incestuous marriage to me, as happens. And being from Alabama, I feel conflicted about the whole thing. I just think that gay incestuous marriage ruins incestuous marriage for the rest of us. I did want to be there for my brother though, because he just went through a big breakup with my other brother. It's really tough on my folks. I don't know. I mean, if I'm going to be serious, I think gay people should be allowed to do whatever they want in the privacy of my own sex dungeon. I got a lot of weird relationships with people. I got a weird relationship with my dentist. My dentist, this is 100% true. My dentist tells me, Lincoln, you have a large, wet mouth with no gag reflex. And when he said that, I went, because I had his dick in my mouth. I complain, but I'm the only person I know who gets paid to go to the dentist. Thank you guys so much. I'm Lincoln.
Lincoln Sorscher, everybody. Sorscher. I make sure I didn't fuck up. Keep that going for your final comedian this evening, TRIXX.
Yes, good evening. How's everybody feeling? Yeah? Black people, good evening. We're not going to get offended, right? Right? We're not going to get offended. Good. Tired of that shit, okay? I don't understand people who come to comedy shows to get offended. I don't go to a library like, where the hoes at? Like, I don't fucking do that. And then get mad when I see books. You understand? I get it, you know? COVID, was rough on everybody. I want normal too, okay? I want to go back to when a black man put on a mask to go into a bank. That was a bad decision. I'm going to say Donald Trump's name 3 times and some of you guys are going to get pissed off. And I don't give a fuck, okay? I don't give a shit. You need to learn to laugh. We need to learn to laugh again. You understand that? We need to learn to laugh again, people. If you can't see the hilarity in the fact that we elected an extra from Home Alone 2 to be the president of the greatest country in the world, well, that's a you problem. It's not a me problem. Okay? I don't like any politician. I think they're all pieces of shit. You understand that? Joe Biden's gonna die next Thursday. I don't fucking care. Why does he fall asleep every question? Let's discuss that. Who put Vicks under his nose? It's no wonder a black woman is vice president. It's the only person that can wake him up. Get your ass up! You think a white woman can wake him up? Get up, Joe, you're falling asleep. No! Get your ass up! Reminds me of my father. My father's from Ghana, West Africa, right next to Nigeria. Don't afraid of, he still has his accent. I'm afraid to call that motherfucker. Every time I call him, what are you doing here? Like, what? I will give you the blood diamond. Don't yell at me. My dad says dumb shit, and my mom, you know, makes him look like a fool in front of the whole family. Is that in your house too, where your dad says dumb shit, and then your mom make him look like an idiot? I came home with no jacket. My dad was like, where is your jacket? I said, I lost my jacket, Dad. The whole jacket! My mom was like, what do you mean, the whole jacket? Did you buy the jacket from IKEA? Did you have to assemble the jacket? My dad has sayings that don't make any sense, and I think all immigrant parents do that shit on purpose, where they come up with these sayings within their culture that only they understand to fuck with their children. I stole a chocolate bar. You know what my dad said word for word? Hey, you are stealing chocolate by yourself. And then my dad hits you with an African proverb that makes no sense. You see, when a dog, then he stands like he said some real shit. When a dog is barking loud, then why is the cat still sleeping? What the fuck are you talking about? What the hell does a cat and dog have to do with me stealing a Snickers? I used to play basketball back in the day. We lost a championship game, and the whole team came to my house because we were sad. And who decided to comfort a room full of dejected teenagers? My father. Hello, so you lost? All of you at the same time. 15 people combining forces to lose. You see, when a monkey is climbing a tree, then why is the zebra standing by himself? What the fuck is that? I said that in Brooklyn, New York. A dude who smoked a lot of weed stood up. I know exactly what your dad said. I don't know why everybody laughing. Your dad said some real shit. You see, the team that beat you is climbing to new heights like the monkey. And you're all standing around like the zebra. That's why you lost, bro. I said you need to share some of that weed. Hey, my name is TRIXX, man. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
TRIXX, ladies and gentlemen. I put my glasses somewhere, and I can't remember. I got 6 pockets. I was going to go through all the comics tonight, just as a courtesy, because I think it's wonderful. So, no, seriously, I'll find them. Don't you fucking mock me. I'm going to finish that story about the fucking whale, I'll tell you that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear for all the comedians saw tonight. Matthew Fanikos, Tom Spahn, Emily Walsh, Casey McNeal, Lily Meyer, Riva Riley, Saku Yanagawa, Peter Liu, Jessie Body, Andrew Delavope, Lincoln Sorscher, and TRIXX, ladies and gentlemen. So much talent on this stage, so much fun. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to now assess I don't like the word judge. But we're going to assess these comics, and they're going to be seeing who's going to move on to the semis, and why we all add up these fucking numbers. I've been drinking. Why we add up these numbers, we have a special treat for you. Comic about to come to the stage, an amazingly talented comic. He's been performing in the Boston area for a long time now. You've probably seen him on Last Comic Standing. He's one of my favorite comics to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Dan Crone.
Thanks. It's a dream come true. Nice. Good. Stand-up comedy. We're back. Thank you guys for being here. Man, we had a whole time off because of the thing. Nice. All right, good. Nice young crowd. I can say TikTok. You know what that is? And a couple older people are like, you're right, we don't have much time left. All right. I just turned 44. This joke's 4 years old. Oh, man. It's been a rough year, man. Are we still pulling down the monuments? Because I took down Ronald McDonald the other day. Nobody said shit. You can tell my sanity in the pandemic by my Amazon purchase history. Like a year ago, I bought a survivalist radio. It's got a hand crank. It's solar powered in case the grid goes down. Last week, I bought tiramisu Oreos, folks. A lot of pandemic purchases, right? I bought a gun, thermometer gun, and it's got a scope and a silencer. I'm on my front porch, like 98 degrees. I hate them. When I say that in the suburbs, they're like, yeah, you did. You bought a gun. Yeah, you did. I say it here in the city, and people are like, tisk, tisk. All right. I've been wearing my mask, nothing else. Oh, okay. Yes, somebody over here just is great. The masks are weird. You know what I don't like is the breathing faces we make underneath the masks, right? It's not natural. If you took the mask away, I'm walking down the street like... Crazy, right? We always got our information in the pandemic from the last person we talked to, and we bring that information to the next person, right? We wouldn't fact check it. You'd be like, oh, apparently you can test positive for like months after. Who told you that? That guy on the corner over here. He also told me your cure for COVID was sword swallowing. Stab it out. His name's Donald. He's unemployed. Okay. Anybody into astrology? Why? And where were you in the last year and a half, right? Nothing in the stars about what we just went through? What's the vaccine eligibility for Capricorns? It doesn't exist. Were you getting subtle hints in your horoscopes in January 2020 that this was all going to go down? Like, new professional development opportunities might come in an interesting way. Hope you like puzzles and masturbating. I live alone, so all right. I went through a breakup like right before the shutdown, which was ideal. I could have been quarantined with a very beautiful, crazy person. And it was one of those long 4-hour breakups. Like, I don't believe in religion, but I believe in weird things that happen and you kind of make sense of them. Like, I have an Apple Watch. It gives you like positive affirmations, right? It says like, you did it, or, you know, keep it up, or put your pants back on, stuff like that. And this was a breakup. It was like 4 hours. We're talking like 10% sex, 80% arguing, like 10% room service. So it was okay, but terrible. I finally broke up with her, and I stood up from bed, and I thought, was this the right decision? I don't know. And my watch vibrated, and I looked down, and it said, you did it. I swear to God, that happened. It was great. So I'm back. I'm on the apps. It's terrible. I misread everything. I was looking at OkCupid. It says has kids / doesn't want kids. Do your kids know about that? I get it. It means you don't want any more kids. Mine has drugs, doesn't do drugs. I'm a drug dealer. But I was out with this girl the other day, or the other night, whatever. It's not even true. But she goes, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a friend of mine. I was like, that's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. I'm trying to be friends with my ex. Has that ever worked out? Here's how much energy I want to give it. Ever get a Rubik's Cube? You finish one side of it, and then you look at the rest of it, and you're like, fuck this. She's still using my parents' HBO account on her iPad. Should I A, have my folks canceled immediately, B, cancel it after she finishes the first season of Westworld, or C, cancel it at the second to last episode of the first season of Westworld? What do you think, folks? Nice. I like you screaming out C because I got to think for Spanish chicks. But anyway, took me a couple months to write that, whatever. But All right, we're all right. All right, no, you guys are good. It's fun. I want this to feel good. I want this to feel like that little area when you cross Easy Pass with no lanes. It's like Mad Max, anything goes, no rules. You know what that vibe is, right? Yeah. What else can I tell you about? Oh, so yeah, online therapy. If you're not a comedian with an online therapy joke after the pandemic, you're not doing it right. Should I drop my therapist if I've been talking to her on Zoom and I can see she's looking down at her phone? It's covered by health insurance, so I look down at my phone, but then sometimes I text her, look up. I remember the first time I went into therapy, I overthink everything. She's like, do you want the couch or the chair? I was like, I hate my parents. My parents are doing good. They're on season 7 of CNN. And I'm a big overthinker. You guys overthinkers? Yeah. We get a bad rap. Nobody talks about underthinkers. Oh, he just doesn't have enough thoughts. He's thoughtless. He's without thought. Overthinking is great because eventually one of my many thoughts is going to be the right one. That's what I'm banking on, right? And I'm just grasping at thoughts. I don't know what's right and what's wrong. Like, should I go back to school? Maybe I should invest more. Another hot dog? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Apparently not, though. Did you guys hear about the studies on hot dogs? That every hot dog takes 35 minutes off your life? Crazy. I don't believe in the science. I mean, it seems rushed, honestly, right? I'm just going to do my own research, right? I had a buddy in Utah. He had a hot dog. He's fucking fine, okay? They conducted these studies in the middle of a pandemic. We have the resources for this, right? Bob, give me the reports on the effect of antibiotic treatments on my desk by noon. Carol, find out about the connection between high positivity rates and kids going back to school. Bill, what are you working on? Hot dog, sir. Nice. A couple people didn't laugh. They just nodded their heads with their masks on. All right, it's weird. A long time ago, I was part of a hiring committee. We were hiring the head of an after-school program. He had a great resume. He walked in, though, and it said he had just been in Thailand for 4 months by himself. So I decided to give him a line of questioning. It's like, oh, what were you doing out there? He was like, oh, I was just out there. Oh, you're right? Oh, were you in school? He was like, no. You got family out there and friends? He's like, no. The interview ended. I looked at the committee, and I go, obviously, we're not getting this fucking guy, right? He loves Thai food. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't say what I really want to say because I like to be clean. Nice. You guys are good. What else can I tell you? I don't know. I'm very tall. I don't fall correctly. You guys ever seen a tall person fall before? It's distracting. It's a scene, an ordeal I fell the other day. It took me 90 seconds. Short people, you have it so easy. It's like, boom, I'm down, instant, right? Tall people, we fall in threes. It's crazy. It's like bump, bump, bump. Picture a triangle falling down the stairs. Elbows and knees. I'm taking everybody out. But, I'm not taking everybody out. That would be expensive. Short people, you're just better looking because there's less of you. I'm sorry. Did I offend anybody? That's you're invisible to me. Don't worry. These jokes are gonna be over soon. They're short jokes. Kill me. I love it when a short person hooks up with another short person, like they find each other under the stairs. And are you guys familiar with Cameo? The celebrities' last-ditch resource to be like creative and relevant? It's basically like celebrities just doing a happy birthday greetings. You pay them and they do it. All right. I remember watching this celebrity do it, and she yawned in the middle of this kid's birthday greeting. So offensive, like, hey Jim, Bob gave me this message for your birthday, your 36. The yawning is the punchline. Okay. I'm a big mess. I suffer from OCD. I'm like 50% here with you guys, but I'm also 50% thinking I left my windows open in my car. And obsessive compulsive disorder, you guys know, right? I don't agree with the disorder part, folks. It's all order. Total order. Everything is in order. I'm obsessed with it. It's a compulsion. I do weird things, though, like before I leave the house, I have to touch myself. And, okay. You guys are great. I'll leave you guys with this, and then I'll get some ice cream. That's in celebration or defeat. You don't know how I interpret these shows. Are we a New England crowd here? Yeah, you guys are. Nice, nice. In New England, if you don't know somebody's name and they're walking in a room, you can get away with this. There he is. There she is. The Queen of Quincy. Do you consider good for you a compliment the way we say it in New England? Good for you. Good for you. Oh, top of your class, Bunker Hill Community College. Good for you. It's good for you. You're not good. And if you ever want to get out of a conversation, if you don't approve what somebody's talking about, you just say this. There you go. Usually you're walking away from somebody when you say it. There you go. My buddy's like, yeah, my mother, she couldn't find her phone in bed. It turned out it was just stuck to her back. There you go. The best time to say it, though, is when the coffin is going in the ground at a funeral. There you go. All right, you guys have been great. Thank you so much. Take care.
Dan Crone, everyone! All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have the names of the comics who are moving on. Did you have fun tonight? And ladies and gentlemen, they're doing shows all week, and if you want to come back, please come back. Keep supporting live comedy. Thank you so much for being here. A round of applause for yourselves. You've been absolutely amazing. So, the comics moving on are Matthew Fanikos. That's good. I didn't have to do it. Tom Spahn. Emily Walsh. Saku Yanagawa. Andrew Delavope. Trix. And Peter Lou. Let's get them all on stage. Let's get them all on stage for a photo. Ladies and gentlemen, they're moving on. A round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Keep supporting live comedy. My name is Mark Scalia. Have a great night, everybody.